You're not people pleasing because you're nice. You're people pleasing because your fear side believes that if you keep everybody else happy, you'll be safe. Well, safe enough. Yeah. So then, if you have to keep everybody else happy, you probably learned to not share your needs, to focus on everybody else and not yourself. You probably over-explain if you do something for yourself. You probably really over-explain and justify it. You over-adjust to make sure everybody else is happy. That's people-pleasing. People tend to think that people-pleasing is being nice and sweet and caring and concerned. And you might have all those traits. I'm not here to tell you you don't. I'm here to say who's driving, though. Because when your fear side is driving, that people-pleasing comes from a place of I'm gonna keep you happy because I'm scared that I'll be left out if I don't. Yeah. You essentially abandon yourself because you fear someone else is going to abandon you. Yeah. Doesn't actually feel good. No, it really feels kind of crappy because we learned early on that our needs aren't important and your needs are more important than mine. And if we keep feeling that over time, I'll tell you what we get. We get resentful, we get depleted, we get exhausted. We're not showing up from our authentic self, and it's painful. Yeah. You know why your fear side shows up and does all this people-pleasing, kind of fawning over other people, worrying about everybody else instead of yourself? Well, here's the deal. Humans, we're social creatures. We need connection. And if I was raised in a family of origin, the connection was not safe, it wasn't unconditional love, maybe folks in my family of origin weren't as stable and healthy as they could have been. And so I probably did learn that it was more important to keep somebody else happy, content, fulfilled, not make a big deal out of me. Children to be seen, not heard. Maybe my needs and wants were too much, so I learned to really stifle them and then keep the other person happy. That was safe enough connection. If I wasn't going to get healthy, safe connection, I'll take at least some form, because what's the worst thing is to be abandoned. Yeah, on the old survival radar, being abandoned would be annihilation, it'd be death. So I'm not going to risk that, physical or emotional death. So it makes sense where we learn to people please early on. Keep everybody else happy, you'll keep me around. Well, that gets cemented over time, and we're still doing that as an adult. Our fear side's still driving. Worrying about what everybody else is feeling, not checking in with our own feelings, needs, or wants. Message from self to self when we do all that. I don't matter, I'm not that important, you're more important. Well, I ain't gonna feel good with those feels happening, right? Yeah. I'm resentful, exhausted, annoyed, irritable. I think I have to do for you and I don't get to do for me. Yeah. It makes sense why people pleasing doesn't actually work for me in the long run, right? But it makes sense why I do it. Why my fear side shows up like that. All right. Here's the deal. Your authentic side, your authentic side understands why you do what you do, where you learn to people please, and knows that it's reasonable that you have human needs, wants, desires, that it's reasonable for you to take up space, that it is okay for you to share your concerns, your truth, your perspective. And you can do all of this with compassion for yourself and for the other person. I don't have to go from people pleasing to like being mean and aggressive. No, I'm just going to come from a place of authenticity and actually be able to show up with real care and concern. Yeah. That there builds self-trust. Right. Authentic side driving. All right, so how do I stop people pleasing? What am I going to do with all this now that I understand what I do, why I do it? Well, 1, 2, 3, baby. Awareness, acceptance without judgment and with compassion, and choice. Is that working for me or working me? So remember, just witness your own thoughts, your own process. When you become aware that you're doing some people pleasing, abandoning your own needs and focusing wholly on someone else's, when you have an awareness of that, I want you to move into an acceptance without judgment with compassion. Make sense of it. It makes sense. This is an old habit I learned when I used to do this with Mom when she would be really upset, and I learned to really focus on her and make her happy and not share my own stuff. So it really makes sense why I would be doing that now. Old habits die hard. And I've really learned to do it. Yeah. Is that working for me or working me? Well, I'm feeling exhausted, resentful, depleted, irritable. It's working me. What might work instead? Slowing down, coming into my authentic self, sharing my truth, sharing my fear about sharing my truth. I can transparently express that I'm worried you're going to be upset that I'm not doing old behaviors. I could say what I need. I could take a baby step, start showing up for myself differently than I've done before. This care and compassion. Right. So that 1, 2, 3 helps us go from the fear side, people pleasing, to our authentic side, driving, and be able to share our concerns, our needs, our wants, and we can even share our fears about changing our behaviors. Whole spectrum for us when our authentic side is driving. So we might start thinking about letting that people pleasing down and picking up the authentic, assertive, direct communication. It feels real good when you start taking care of you in a way that you've probably been taking care of everybody else. Now start giving that gift back to self. Authentic side driving.